anything that was specific to this fight. I dropped my brother with it all the time, so yeah, I'm not surprised she went down, to be honest.
Under the blinding lights of the arena, the crowd rises as the announcer's voice thunders, "Here is Amanda, the lioness of the ring." For over a decade, Amanda Nunes has ruled women's MMA like a queen who never surrendered her throne. With a record of 23 wins and 5 losses, she is more than a fighter. She is an empire of power and precision. From Ronda Rousey to Chris Cyborg, she didn't just beat legends, she erased them. The Lioness retired atop 2 divisions, the only woman to ever hold UFC titles simultaneously. But now, the whispers of one question echo louder than ever. Could even Amanda Nunes stop the meteoric rise of the young British killer known as Dakota Ditcheva? The clash between generations isn't just a fantasy. It's a storm waiting to happen. The rise of dangerous Dakota. On the other side of the world, under the cold lights of Manchester gyms, Dakota Dangerous Ditcheva is rewriting what it means to be a new age fighter. 15-0, 11 finishes, $1 million PFL champion. She's not just winning, she's dismantling opponents piece by piece. Born into a martial arts family, her mother, Lisa Howarth, a world kickboxing champion, and her Bulgarian father, a hard-driven disciplinarian, Dakota was molded for violence and victory. Every strike, every elbow, every knee is honed through years of Muay Thai dominance. By 26, she's already being compared to Valentina, Ronda, even Amanda herself. But Dakota doesn't want to be the next anyone. She wants to become the first Dakota Ditcheva. And when the media begins whispering about a dream fight with Amanda, she doesn't shy away. She smiles. "Give me the lioness," she says. "I want to test myself against the best." The legend's legacy versus the future's fury. Amanda Nunes, the lioness, forged her legacy in fire. She came from poverty in Pojuca, Brazil, her mother selling hot dogs to keep the family alive after Amanda's father left. Every punch she throws carries that story. Every knockout is a lifetime of pain and hunger released in one explosive moment. She's knocked out Ronda Rousey in 48 seconds, destroyed Cyborg in 51, and choked out Miesha Tate for her first title. Precision, brutality, and championship mentality. Yet, as she sits in her Florida gym 2 years into retirement, she admits, the fire still burns. Across the ocean, Dakota is training in Manchester, watching Nunes's fights, studying her patterns. Youth meets experience. One represents dominance past, the other destiny future. If this fight ever happened, at a 130-pound catchweight, it would be the biggest women's MMA event in history. When legends return, the world explodes when Amanda Nunes announces her comeback at 37. "I've done everything," she says, "but I still want one more challenge." And that challenge, everyone knows, wears the British flag and a devilish smile. Dakota welcomes the call-out with cold confidence. Let's see if the lioness can still roar. The media loses its mind. The UFC calls it legacy versus legacy. Fans call it the passing of the torch. On Fight Week, the energy is electric. 2 eras, 1 ring. The bell rings, and chaos follows. Nunes lands heavy bombs early, testing Dakota's chin. Dakota absorbs, adapts, and counters with blistering body shots. It's old power versus young precision. 5 rounds of pure war. When the final horn sounds, both stand bloodied but unbroken. The judges call it a split decision, Dakota Ditcheva. The torch has been passed. The crowd erupts. But for Dakota, victory brings not peace, only pressure. Because in MMA, the moment you're on top, the world starts plotting your fall. The Scottish Storm, Amy Peary. Every champion eventually meets the one opponent who changes everything. For Dakota, that name was Amy Peary, a 31-year-old Scottish technician with 27 wins, 4 losses, and 22 straight victories. Peary wasn't a star. She was a shadow that studied stars. When she got the call to fight Dakota in one championship, few noticed. By the end of the night, no one would forget her name. Dakota came in as the Golden Girl, undefeated, unstoppable, untouchable. But Amy Peary came in with a game plan sharper than a scalpel. She slipped, countered, and dissected Dakota with precision that stunned the crowd. Dakota tried to brawl her way out, but Peary's composure was ice cold. Round after round, Amy chipped away, draining Dakota's gas tank, breaking her rhythm, and forcing her into desperation. 5 rounds later, a majority decision. The shock was seismic. Dakota Ditcheva had lost. The Queen had been dethroned. Lessons in defeat. The world loves watching someone rise, but it loves watching them fall even more. Headlines exploded. Dakota exposed. The hype ends. The lioness was right. But in the silence of defeat, champions are reborn. Dakota returned home to Manchester in tears, replaying every mistake. For the first time in her career, she felt mortal. But where others saw failure, she saw fuel. "Losing to Amy showed me I wasn't invincible," she later said. "It showed me I could be better." She rebuilt from scratch, improving her wrestling, her patience, her mind. For 6 months, she disappeared from the spotlight. No interviews, no appearances, just grind. And when she returned, it wasn't the smiling Dakota Ditcheva anymore. It was something colder, sharper, more dangerous, the birth of a rivalry. But in the fight game, new names rise just as fast. And out of Russia came a storm with model looks and murder in her eyes. Alexandra Savicheva, a Kudo world champion at 16, a kickboxing phenom, and an MMA destroyer by 25. She had fought boys as a child, broken bones before she broke hearts, and now she was breaking into the global scene. Her highlights went viral. Her stare-downs became memes. The world called her the Russian Dakota. But Alexandra hated that label. "I'm not the next anyone," she said. "I'm the first Savicheva." Fans began to dream of the inevitable. Dakota versus Alexandra. 2 killers, 2 countries, 1 destiny. The clash of styles promoters couldn't resist. The posters went up. Ditcheva versus Savicheva. Beauty and brutality collide. The pre-fight press conference was chaos. Alexandra smiled and said calmly, "She's good, but I'm better." "I fought men when she was fighting girls." Dakota fired back. "Pretty faces don't survive my knees." On fight night, the arena pulsed with energy. Round 1, Alexandra used her range and leg kicks to keep Dakota away. Round 2, Dakota found her rhythm, landing body shots and forcing clinches. Round 3, both went to war, trading elbows in the pocket. In round 4, Alexandra landed a brutal head kick that nearly ended it. But Dakota survived, turned the tables, and in round 5 unleashed a barrage that had the Russian reeling. When the final bell rang, both collapsed in exhaustion. The decision: a draw. No winner, only anticipation. The rivalry had just begun. Redemption of the dangerous one. Months later, Dakota returned to the PFL cage against Lisa Molden, a loud-mouthed American veteran who promised to send the British girl back home humbled. Dakota didn't say a word. She let her body do the talking. From the opening bell, she tore Molden apart. Knees to the body, elbows to the head, surgical precision. One final liver shot sent Molden crashing to the canvas. Referee stoppage. First round TKO. Redemption complete. After the fight, Dakota grabbed the mic. "I've beaten legends, lost to warriors, and rebuilt myself stronger. I'm not chasing belts anymore. I'm chasing greatness. The crowd erupted. The lioness had passed the torch. The Scottish storm had tested her soul. The Russian shadow now waited for war. The future is dangerous, Dakota. Dangerous Ditcheva stands at the center of the cage, her journey far from over. From Manchester to Miami, from triumph to tears, she's lived every fighter's dream and nightmare. Amanda Nunes' legacy still looms large. Amy Perry's name is etched into her memory. And Alexandra Savicheva waits on the horizon like a storm. The fight world watches, holding its breath, knowing that what comes next could define an entire era of women's combat sports. Because in this world, legends don't retire, they evolve. And Dakota Ditcheva isn't just fighting opponents anymore. She's fighting history. Dangerous Dakota, coming for everything she's ever earned.